want my seat by 82%. Know this, I am gonna come through on a landslide just like Trump did. Know that I will be victorious in the...
It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
It's official. Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor of Dolton, Illinois, and Thornton Township Supervisor, has hit a major roadblock in her political career. The embattled politician, who has spent years dodging controversy and criticism, lost her bid for re-election as Thornton Township Supervisor during a chaotic Democratic caucus. This event not only marks the end of her dual-role supermayor status, but also sets the stage for what many are calling her political decline. Let's break down how the drama unfolded and explore the implications of her defeat. So here's the tea. Tiffany Henyard, known for her bold personality and controversial leadership style, failed to secure her spot on the Democratic ballot for the April 2025 election. Why? Because her slate of candidates was incomplete. In Thornton Township, candidates vying for the supervisor position must submit a full slate that includes a supervisor, highway director, clerk, assessor, and 4 trustees. Henyard's slate was missing a certified assessor, which automatically disqualified her. This technicality opened the door for state senator and Thornton Township Democratic committeeman Napoleon Harris to swoop in and claim the nomination for himself. Harris, who had the full slate required by the rules, walked away victorious, leaving Henyard and her supporters fuming. Now, this wasn't just any ordinary political loss. The caucus that sealed Henyard's fate was the first of its kind in Thornton Township in 30 years. Traditionally, the township held primary elections, but Harris made the controversial decision to hold a caucus instead, a move Henyard claims was a deliberate attempt to oust her. And let's just say, the atmosphere was nothing short of electric. Hundreds of people gathered at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District Auditorium to witness the showdown, with emotions running high on both sides. The room reached its 600-person capacity early, leaving many of Henyard's bussed-in supporters stuck outside in the cold. This logistical hiccup only fueled Henyard's claims of unfairness, with her alleging that the process amounted to voter suppression.
Fooled on how the Democratic caucus works right here in Thornton Township. You can also say that she flunked out because her name is not appearing on the ballot.
But let's not forget the real kicker. When Harris's name was announced as the Democratic nominee, the crowd erupted into cheers, and some began singing the infamous "Nah nah, hey hey, kiss him goodbye" chant. Talk about adding insult to injury. Henyard, visibly upset, stormed out of the auditorium, shouting accusations of illegality and vowing to sue everyone involved. "This is illegal, Napoleon," she yelled, pointing fingers at Harris. Her dramatic exit was met with a mix of boos and laughter, cementing the night as one of the most humiliating moments in her political career.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people out here. They're not gonna go nowhere.
While Henyard's humiliation was front and center that night, what made the situation even more surreal was the presence of longtime township residents who had never seen anything like it. Many noted that Thornton Township politics had been relatively calm for decades under Frank Zuccarelli, who held the supervisor position unopposed for nearly 30 years. His demise in 2022 left a power vacuum, and Henyard's controversial rise into that role was met with mixed feelings. For some, she represented a fresh face in a stale system, but others saw her as an outsider with questionable motives. The caucus, they said, felt like the culmination of months of tension within the township's democratic structure. Adding to the absurdity of the evening was the fact that many of Henyard's supporters were seen aimlessly wandering outside the venue, visibly confused and frustrated. Some complained that they had been told by Henyard's team that their presence alone would secure her victory. "We came all the way out here for nothing," one supporter said, shaking their head. "They told us this was in the bag." Meanwhile, inside the auditorium, Harris's team maintained that the room had been filled hours before the start of the caucus, and those left outside had simply arrived late. The logistical failures, combined with Henyard's combative attitude, only seemed to solidify her reputation as someone unable to effectively organize or lead.
You didn't run out of this the right way. Illegal. Napoleon.
And then there's the question of how Henyard plans to recover from such a public fall. While her threat to sue has made headlines, political insiders say it's highly unlikely she'll succeed in overturning the results. This isn't just about losing a nomination, one observer noted. It's about losing credibility. How do you rally people behind you when you've been so publicly embarrassed? Even Henyard's most loyal allies appear to be wavering. Rumors are already swirling that some of her closest advisors have begun distancing themselves, wary of being associated with what increasingly looks like a sinking ship.
7 minutes. That's all it took for Tiffany Henyard to be out as the Democratic nominee for Thornton Township Supervisor, and she left here visibly upset.
For those unfamiliar with Henyard's rise to power, her story is one of ambition, controversy, and, according to her critics, poor leadership. Henyard was appointed supervisor of Thornton Township in 2022 after the demise of longtime supervisor Frank Zuccarelli. At the same time, she was already serving as mayor of Dolton, a position she won in 2021 with over 80% of the vote. This dual role earned her the nickname Super Mayor, but it also sparked criticism, with many questioning whether she could effectively manage both positions. Her tenure has been marked by allegations of financial mismanagement, questionable spending, and a combative relationship with the Dolton Village Board. Let's talk finances for a moment. Henyard has been under fire for years over her use of taxpayer money. Reports have surfaced accusing her of spending exorbitant amounts on personal security, lavish dinners, and even flights to Las Vegas. One particularly damning allegation involves her use of township credit cards for purchases at retailers like Amazon, Target, and Walgreens. In one instance, she reportedly spent over zero on Amazon in a single day. Critics have labeled her spending as reckless and self-serving, with former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot's investigation into Dolton's finances revealing a staggering drop in the village's general fund balance, from a surplus of over $5 million in 2022 to a deficit of $365 million by mid-2024.
I've said for a while, it's like, grassroots. It was organic when a lot of this things started at the township, where the people were, just showing their displeasure.
And it's not just her spending that's raised eyebrows. Henyard's leadership style has been described as abrasive and authoritarian. At one village board meeting, she reportedly declared, "You all forget I'm the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. You all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing. They only run their mouths. You all don't do no work. No work." This kind of rhetoric has alienated many of her colleagues, leading to frequent clashes with trustees and other local officials. Some have even accused her of using her position to target political opponents, with allegations ranging from withholding permits for park district improvements to orchestrating police raids on businesses that refuse to support her. Back to the caucus drama, Henyard didn't go down without a fight. In the days leading up to the event, she bussed in seniors using Thornton Township vehicles, hoping to bolster her support. But her efforts backfired when the buses arrived late, leaving many of her supporters unable to get inside the venue. This logistical blunder became a key talking point for her detractors, who mocked her inability to organize her own base. Supporters were bussed in. "The bus was late, classic Tiffany," one commenter wrote online. "When she won, it was like she hit the lottery, but responsibility was nowhere to be seen. Now she's proving it."
It's one thing to win, but let's do it properly and let the people really have a voice. The people's voice was taken today.
Henyard's reaction to the loss has been nothing short of defiant. She has vowed to challenge the caucus results in court, claiming the process was rigged against her. "I will be suing everyone tomorrow," she declared, doubling down on her accusations of voter suppression. Her attorney, Max Solomon, has echoed these sentiments, alleging that the caucus rules were unfair and that Harris manipulated the process to his advantage. However, election law experts have pointed out that the caucus system is perfectly legal in Illinois and has been used in other townships for decades. So, what's next for Tiffany Henyard? Her options are limited. She can still run for Thornton Township Supervisor, but only as a write-in candidate. A long shot, to say the least. Her supporters remain optimistic, with one ally stating, "I think enough people know her name to write her in, and I believe we could still win it." But the odds are stacked against her, especially given the public's growing frustration with her leadership. Even in Dolton, where she serves as mayor, residents have been vocal about their desire for change. At a recent village board meeting, many turned their backs on her as she spoke, a symbolic gesture that speaks volumes about her declining popularity.
New at 10 tonight, renewed calls for a change at the top in South Suburban Dolton.
Of course, we are talking about Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And let's not forget the ongoing investigations into her administration. The FBI has reportedly been looking into allegations of financial misconduct, with subpoenas issued for records related to her top 8 and other village employees. Meanwhile, her cancer charity, the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation, is under scrutiny for failing to register with the state and disclose how it spends its donations. These scandals, combined with her recent political defeat, paint a grim picture for her future in public office.
She just sacrificed 32 minutes to an individual that doesn't give a damn about anybody's time but hers. Okay?
But not everyone is celebrating Henyard's downfall. Some of her supporters have accused the media and her opponents of unfairly targeting her. Why is it always Tiffany they come after? What about the others? One commenter asked. Others have expressed sympathy for her, arguing that the criticisms are rooted in gender bias and racial prejudice. However, these voices are increasingly drowned out by those who see her loss as a necessary step toward restoring accountability and transparency in Thornton Township.
2025, and clock is ticking. The clock is ticking.
As the dust settles, one thing is clear. Tiffany Henyard's reign as super mayor is over. Whether she can stage a political comeback remains to be seen, but for now, her critics are savoring the moment. So, what do you think? Was the caucus process fair, or was Henyard unfairly targeted? And do you think she has any chance of winning as a write-in candidate? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.